I know most everyone has some experience with public speaking, whether it's been speaking in front of small groups or large groups, so everyone knows how intimidating and nerve-wracking it can be. My name is Sarah, and I'm a speaking consultant at the UNCG Speaking Center, and today I want to talk about some strategies and processes for dealing with public speaking anxiety, as well as some skills that will help you manage your anxiety along the way. First, I want to go over some things to do before you give your presentation. It's important that you create a key outline where you map the main points of your speech and some information that you want to go over. In this outline, it's also a good idea to include some notes and cues, things such as smile, slow down, and pause to remind you of these as you go. Next, I want to talk about using positive visualization. The trick here is to imagine yourself giving the speech, but instead of thinking of all the things that could go wrong or that you could do to mess up, you want to think of all the things that you could do right. Picture yourself standing in front of whoever you're presenting to and visualize yourself doing well and executing the speech perfectly. Using this technique will decrease your anxiety surrounding the presentation and give you an overall more positive outlook towards the presentation. Another thing to do before you give your speech is to practice. Now, I know this seems obvious, but I promise it's one of the most important techniques to manage your public speaking anxiety. Practicing your speech before you actually present it to an audience allows you to get more comfortable with the material and the idea of having to speak in front of others before you actually have to do it. This in turn will minimize your anxiety when you actually give the presentation to your audience. Next, I want to talk about some things to do during your presentation. It's important that you don't memorize your speech. You want to make sure you know your information and that you can speak on it, but you don't want to have a script. Attempting to memorize a speech will cause more anxiety during the speech because you'll be focused and worried about saying the right thing or saying a specific phrase of words. Another thing, if you lose your place or train of thought when speaking, or maybe you stutter or get tongue-tied, don't freak out. It's okay. Just pause, maybe take a deep breath, and then pick right back up where you left off. Don't worry about being perfect. Finally, I want to go over some skills that will help you reduce your public speaking anxiety. As I mentioned before, one of the most important things is to practice. One trick is to practice giving your speech in front of a mirror, so you can practice eye contact, test body movement, and hand gestures so you will see how it looks to the audience. Another tip is to record yourself practicing. Then, when you're done, you can watch it back, make notes on things to change, and work on these to better yourself for the final presentation. So, there you go. I've given you a few strategies, tips, and skills to help you manage your speaking anxiety. Keep these in mind when preparing for your next presentation so you can knock it out of the park, stress and anxiety free.